It's a bad 2 months. It's tough to get rid of a guy off of that. But man, that was an embarrassing 2 months plus. And it's going to be the rest of the off season. Because now everybody forgets that you went to a Super Bowl. Everybody forgets that you were a dominant team, 11 and or 10-1. You started 10-1 the year before. Everybody forgets that now because now you're just chokers. You're chokers like that team down south that won't get rid of their coach either, which we're cool with, by the way. Hopefully they keep them and the quarterback down there.
You wonder what happened in sports today. Brandon Petrilli, he got the wave. We talking a lot with bros today. Cracking some jokes the podcast way. Goals on goals. With homers on homers. Tutties on tutties. Got moments on moments. Just tune into BSP. Just tune into BSP. Just tune into BSP. Just tune into Petrilli.
Who are the dopes that thought the Eagles were going to win the Super Bowl this year? Who thought it? Who would have thought that, right? Idiots. Yeah, I was one of them. Did I really think that? No, if you were a real homie, you watched the actual episode on YouTube. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, by the way. But yeah, do we want to be positive going into a playoffs? I would hope so. Do we want to be realistic going into playoffs too? I would hope so. Realistically, the path was laid out there for the Eagles to go on a run. With the talent that they had on this team to go on a run, it was there to be had. If you went and watched the full video on YouTube, BSP Podcast. But when it came down to it, this team just didn't have it. They quit. They did. They couldn't tackle. They couldn't make reads. They couldn't block a blitz to save their lives. They couldn't have play calls come in to run routes over the middle of the field. They couldn't have blitz dialed up. The whole team fell apart. It fell apart. Did I want to be positive the whole time and try to make a way out of it and flip the switch? Yeah, of course. Of course I did. Did it happen? No. Because, man, that sucked. Do we deserve better? 100%. Do those players deserve better? Yeah. But it's their fault they didn't perform. We can go at coaches all we want. We can attack the DC, the OC, whoever was even calling the plays. I guess it was Patricia at some point now, right? But what was the structure in that locker room? Who can the guys look to and be like, who's holding me accountable here? And I don't know if anybody can answer those questions. They'll tell you it was Nick. They'll try to have Nick's back. Listening to all these crappy press conferences, it's the same thing over and over again. Oh, we got to do this. We got to do that. We got to hold each other accountable. They didn't. Oh, we were going to be in the playoffs. We've been in the playoffs for weeks. We've kind of lost focus. Now we're ready to go. You didn't. Because the sad thing is you had a chance to win that game. You had the chance to beat the Bucs and to sliver your way into the next round and be able to post clips of the rest of that episode after that video went viral. If you're following me at Brendan Petrilli on Instagram, 80,000, 90,000 views, kind of crazy. But to post the receipts of people saying, oh, you're going to get first round of this and that, we're going to have to do a reaction video to some of it because some of the comments were kind of funny. But it's crazy what the algorithms are in this whole deal. But to be able to go and you could have been able to keep prolonging this and keep making it forward and figuring things out and having the right attitude of going about things, and just they looked dead. And it starts at the quarterback position. He looked dead. He looked frustrated. He looked tired. Crap. I'm stressed out even watching them. We all are. I'm breaking out in pimples left and right all of a sudden. Like I'm a 15-year-old again because I'm so frustrated with this team, you know? What are we gonna do about it? And it seems like Nick Sirianni is going to stay. Reports coming out. I wanted to wait to see if things were going to develop over the next day or so. But it looks like Nick Sirianni and Howie Roseman have been looking out there for who is going to be the next offensive defensive coordinators for this team with Nick Sirianni at the helm. Per reports, things could change. I was going back and forth on whether I wanted him to be fired or I want to give him another chance. My initial gut was it's a bad 2 months. It's tough to get rid of a guy off of that. But man, that was an embarrassing 2 months plus. And it's going to be the rest of the off season. Because now everybody forgets that you went to a Super Bowl. Everybody forgets that you were a dominant team, 11 and or 10-1. You started 10-1 the year before. Everybody forgets that now because now you're just chokers. You're chokers like that team down south that won't get rid of their coach either, which we're cool with, by the way. Hopefully they keep them and the quarterback down there. But you could have just all you had to do was win one game. And all that could have been on them. On them for the rest of the off season and beyond. And that narrative could have stayed with them. Now everybody's going to try to put it on the Eagles too now. They're going to try to make this team a dumpster fire, which honestly it kind of is. The way that it fell apart. Because there wasn't one guy that looked at each other. They would always say this and that to the media, but nobody grabbed one another. Not mean or malicious or anything, but just grabbed and looked each other in the frickin' eye. And I would like to say maybe it would happen in practice, but I don't think any of them were practicing. Nobody went and laid out a guy over the middle in practice to set a tone. Nobody did any sort of holding each other to a standard over the last 2 months. Maybe even over the last year plus now. Honestly, because they thought the way that they handled business last year was going to get it done. And honestly, it was for them until they got smacked in the mouth. And man, they didn't know how to get back up off the mat. All the cliches, all the responses that they needed to do, they didn't get it done. And now you look and you answer the press going, oh, I didn't know Nick was going to be fired. Where is he going? Where's Nick going? I didn't know he was leaving. What are you talking about, man? Your play, your embarrassment plays, whether it's coaching or not, has put these guys on the hot seat. They're putting yourself on the hot seat. And you have the arrogance to question and try to play coy. That annoys the crap out of me. That is the stuff that you were playing off all season long, where there was no fire under your asses to get it in groove and figure it out. That is why you went 1-5 to end the 1-6 to end the year. That is why that urgency is not there. That intensity is not there. The intensity of what the city brings was not there with this team. You have the leaders that have been there for forever, but they forgot it. All of them are worried about doing this and that at this point, it seems like. They're all worried about what's going on next. And everybody wants to feel sorry for them. They could have answered the goddamn bell. Where was Fletcher? Where was Hassan? Even though he's not going anywhere, I don't think. Where was Brandon? Where was Jason? I love Jason. And it sucks that he's probably going to be gone. Calling out blitzes, this and that. No, you weren't. You weren't calling out shit. Guys were coming free every single snap. Now, is it an offensive scheme? Sure, maybe, probably. But the guys out there on the field, why couldn't we run the damn ball anymore? Where's that physicality? Where was it? Where's that identity of smash mouth, rush the passer, run the ball? It leads with them, and they didn't do it. They didn't get it done. I don't feel bad for them. I don't. I love them. They've given us the best moments of our lives as Philly sports fans, but they didn't get it done. It started with them, and it trickled down. Now it goes higher to the roster construction with Howie Roseman and trusting way too many young guys to come in here and fill a Hargrave and fill CJ Gardner-Johnson. You bring back the two corners instead. You let TJ Edwards and you let all these guys go at linebacker position over the years. Maybe these young guys can pay off on the defensive line, which I think they can. But you didn't make a move to bring back Sue when it looked like he was looking to come back. He could have gave you some valuable snaps. Josh Sweat, Hassan Reddick looked gas towards the end of the year. They finally made a couple plays against Baker Mayfield, but it was too late because the offense was already so far gone. You bring a Julio Jones in. Great. Caught a couple touchdowns. Great. But what are we doing here? What are we doing? We weren't holding each other accountable from the get-go. We kept going through the motions that they would trust each other to figure it out. And they didn't. And that's why things need to change. What needs to change? I don't know. Yeah, we can go at the coach, we can go at the OCs, the players, this and that. When it comes down to it, it's the person at top making the calls, making the decisions. I've been on that train for a while, but I don't think he's going anywhere. And it seems like the head coach isn't going anywhere either. So where do the Eagles do moving forward? You need to get an Eric Bieniemy. You need to get a veteran play caller in here. You need to get a defensive coordinator like a Jim Schwartz back. You need to get a Ron Rivera. Nah, I don't think he would go to the DC side of it. Of Bill Belichick to go to the play defensive coordinator. No. But you need these veteran guys around Nick if you're going to keep them. Why you're going to keep him, I don't know at this point. Hey, you're preaching to the choir here. It seems like his message hasn't gone anywhere. The players might think, oh, yeah, we got Nick's back, this and that. You didn't do it on the field. You didn't prove that. And now you're going to complain to the media and everybody else that we're the crazy ones. We just went to the Super Bowl last year. Why would Nick go anywhere? Because you guys are the ones that let him down. Why did they let him down? I don't know. That we'll never know. We're not one of those people in the locker room. We don't. But things need to change, obviously, in a big way. Hopefully, Brian Johnson, go ahead. Somebody else hire him, please. Go ahead. That's what it seems like is going on right now. They're not going to fire him just for his sake. That teams are looking at him potentially for a head coaching job, which is insane, or an offensive coordinator position. They don't want to burn that bridge and people go back at it, which is interesting in itself. That if they're going to hire him anyway, what does it matter what another team thinks? But I think that's kind of where it's going. They're waiting for him just to get another job. Why hasn't Patricia or Desai been moved on from at this point? Is insane to me. And where do we go from here? It's going to be a fun, long off season. Thank you guys for listening. Follow on Instagram. Instagram's been blowing up lately. It's been fun. Let me talk about that real quick. I mentioned it briefly at the beginning, but I did those videos for a purpose. I called it. If you watch the video, the whole episode, I told you what I was gonna do. We were gonna get people riled up, and goddamn, it did. And I love to see that. And it sucks that you have to do stuff like that to get views and clicks and everything else like that. That's just the nature of the beast at this point. I don't want to do that. I want to put out good content, but it was a good video still. It would have been great if they kept going. It would have been great for myself if the Eagles kept going on a run. Because guess what? Everybody thinks people in Philadelphia media, they hate the team and they want the team to do bad and this and that. It's good for ratings. No, it isn't. Because guess what? We go to events. We go to bars and live events and this and that. It's all sponsored. It's all paid for. We're all getting paid doing that. Now that the Eagles season is over, 3 weeks of that gone. See you later. All that in the schedule. Adios. And guess what? Nothing's gonna fill it. That's money out of all of our pockets that it's gone now, sadly. But that's the nature of the game. Winning is good for business. Said it many times on this podcast. It's fun, it's exciting, and we all get paid because of it. Everybody, the team and us. But sadly, only one winner happens at the end of the year every year. Sixers had a good win last night. Flyers are hot. We got spring training coming up. I'm thinking about maybe trying to go down there for a week. We'll see. Maybe do some videos down there. We'll see what happens. Shout out to the 215. Go Birds. Subscribe to the podcast. Thanks, guys.
Just tune into BSP. Just tune into BSP. Just tune into Butcherly.